Shalom, friends, and welcome back to this week's installation of a Biselleh Torah. We read this week of the Parsha called Vayakhel, which is the last segment from the book of Exodus. But context is so vital to understand what is happening here in these last chapters. Let us turn back several weeks before, where we read of Moses ascending to Mount Sinai, receiving the word of God that were inscribed by the finger of God in stone tablets. Moses then descends the mountain and then is mortified to discover that the people in his absence have crafted a golden calf. This certainly is the lowest moment for the Jewish nation. What they have done grossly disappoints Moses, and we can only imagine the terrible disappointment that God must have felt in the people as they declared and they pointed to the molten calf when Moses descended. This is your God, Israel, who took you out of the land of Egypt. What happens is the golden calf is then melted down. The people atone. Moses ascends back to the mountain, comes back down another 40 days with a new set of tablets, because the first were smashed. A new set of tablets that Moses presents to the people. What is the day that Moses comes down with the second set of tablets? It is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the Day of Reconciliation, the Day of Forgiveness. And this week's Torah portion, now we arrive where we are today at Vayakhel, is the next day, the day after. And what happens the day after the people receive the second set of tablets? They alight upon the idea of creating a Mishkan, that is to say, a tabernacle. And they create this magnificent tabernacle. Everyone brings forth all kinds of money and food and jewels and anything that could be crafted into the tapestry of this magnificent portable edifice. So much so that Moses had to tell the people, stop already. You brought more than enough. Any more, we just don't know where to put it. We can't take any more. So the people act with great contrition. They know what they've done. They understand their fault. They understand their flaw and come with their arms laden with all kinds of things to establish something new in the place of what they had erected before. So in a sense, the Mishkan takes the place of the golden calf. But that is not all. Let us dig deeper. The Mishkan was a portable tabernacle that they would fold up, take apart, and they would transport to the next place where they would encamp. And then, when they were done there, they'd fold it up, they'd take it apart, and then bring it to the next place. It was a place of sanctity. It was a place of Kiddushah, of holiness. And the word Kodesh or Kiddushah, holiness, actually translates to the English as meaning other, something that stands out, something that is not categorical like everything else. This is something entirely different. This was a holy space, and that's how the people treated it, as a holy space, much in the same idea of a place that we go to worship nowadays. When the Israelite nation finally came to the land of Israel, they built, as you know, a temple. And this was no longer a portable edifice. This was now a permanent structure, a place of permanent sanctity, permanent holiness, where people would come and find themselves in closer proximity to God. You know, in our faith, there are two kinds of holiness. One is holy space. We go to our synagogue and we feel empowered by the holy space of that place. We go to Jerusalem and we stand at the Western Wall and we feel the power of God descend upon us. But there's also something else. There's also holy time. Holy space and holy time. Holy time is time allotted to God. It is that moment when you pray. It is that moment when you open not just your mouth, but you open your heart. And that sacred time becomes holy when you connect heaven to earth, and you are the conduit between the two. So we have three paradigms. We have the tabernacle, which was transportable, the Mishkan. We have the holy temple, which was also holy space, but no longer portable. And we have holy space in our time, where we go to our place of worship. And we have holy time, where we allocate ourself to our Maker, closer connection with who we truly are and who we ultimately will be. One last thought I want to share with you before we say goodbye is that there is a story that is told in the Midrash Tanhuma, which is about 2,000 years old. When the sanctuary or the tabernacle was being erected in the Sinai wilderness, the people tried to make the tabernacle stand, and they continued to fail. They pushed the boards up, they'd fall down. They'd put them up again, they'd fall down. They tried this time and again, and it just simply would not succeed. And so they went to the wise people of the nation, and they said, you put it up. And the wise men also held up the poles and the boards, and they too listed and fell time and again. Then those same elders went to Biselleh, who was the artisan who created the Mishkan, and he too was unsuccessful. Then they approached their leader, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, and they said, what are we going to do? We spent so much time crafting this magnificent edifice for the sake of God's sacred space. How do we make it stand? Moses then turned to God, and God responded to him, Moses, my son, my servant. The crowning task of creating the Mishkan belongs to you. You put the boards up, and they will stand. All of us in our lifetime are called upon to stand up and stand out, to do something that is sometimes feeling beyond our abilities to accomplish, that should never stand in our way. We may be the one that holds the key to unlock the destiny for ourselves and others. Be ready. Shabbat Shalom.